Uh, Hi guys, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Okay. Hi guys, a warm good afternoon to all of you. I am Shivang Mangal from final year CAC and I'm part of Maximus. I welcome you all for this online webinar on Introduction to Competitive Programming. Uh, I'm uh, I'm a ICPC regionalist, ACM ICPC 2019 regionalist. We have Aditya with us. We also have Raj with us.
Hey guys, good afternoon to you all. This is Raj from Computer Science and Engineering, final year. I am part of Spider Algorithms and Maximus, and I do regular competitive programming on Codeforces and CodeSafe. Thank you.
Okay. We also have Anup with us who will be taking us through the session. And if you have some doubts regarding something, you can ask in the comment box and we'll be clearing your doubts at the end of the session. So Anup, you can start now.
Hi everyone, this is Anup Kumar. I'm a part of Spider Algos and I'm currently in my fourth year computer science department. And I will walk through you introduction to competitive programming this session webinar. So this webinar is based on your responses. So many people in Google Doc feel that they don't know how to start with competitive programming or what should be the correct path for doing for solving problems or what are the prerequisites. So this session will be basically about how you start with competitive programming and what should be your prerequisite, and it's going to be an introductory session. So let's start. So what is programming? So all of you must have heard this word programming. So can anyone will tell what is programming? Anyone want to say something about what is programming? Because you must have heard this word, right? Programming or coding. Everyone must have heard this word.
Hey guys, feel free to ask questions and answer because this session is completely for you.
Uh,
So
this is going to be interactive.
Hello,
Yes, you are audible.
hello.
yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, programming is giving instructions to computer to reduce our human efforts.
Yeah, it's correct. So programming is basically giving instructions to computer to perform specific tasks. So we as a human, we don't want to do some tasks and we only understand the high level language like English, but computer do not understand like in English. So in some languages, we have to give instruction to computer to perform our task to make our life easier. So there are so many programming languages to communicate with computer. So for competitive programming, we generally use only three programming. Mostly, we use Java, C++, and Python. So there are so many programming. Each programming has its own advantage, disadvantage. So, but for competitive point of view, we only use three programs. Most of the time, we use only three programs. So, so let's see one example how you can apply programming in real life application. So let's say you have given, okay, so let's say you have Aadhaar and SIM. So we know that for every SIM, we must have unique Aadhaar corresponding to that SIM. So let's say we have 1 billion, 10 is to power 9 SIM and 10 is to power 9 Aadhaar card. And each SIM card is linked to some Aadhaar card. And our problem statement is for a specific SIM, we want to fetch the address from the Aadhaar card. So first we need to find which, for a corresponding SIM, first we need to find which Aadhaar card it is linked to. And after that, we have to fetch the address from the Aadhaar card. So one idea can be, okay, so any idea how we are going to do that? Anyone want to give some approach? Everyone is clear with the problem statement, right? Anyone? It's not matter if it's correct or wrong, but Some idea?
Okay, Anup, I think we should carry on. At the end, we
Okay.
will be taking the questions.
Okay. So okay, let's say SIM1 is linked to Aadhaar 142, SIM2 is linked to Aadhaar 293, something like this. So what we can do is, one approach can be, for every SIM, we are going to search for Aadhaar, like Aadhaar 1, Aadhaar 2, Aadhaar 3, if it is matching to the corresponding SIM or not. So how many operations we are going to perform? So we are going to, for 10⁹ SIM, for every SIM we are going to search into all the Aadhaar list. So we have 10⁹ Aadhaar, and for every SIM we are doing those, that going to be 10⁹ into 10⁹, 10⁻18 operation in total. So okay, in 1 second, if you talk about simple computer, so in 1 second, a simple computer can perform 10⁹ operation. So for 10⁻18 operation, we need 10⁹ seconds. You can say 10⁹ operations. So it's going to be around 31 years. That's obviously not a feasible solution, because so how we can do better is, so what we can do is, we can apply binary search on Aadhaar. So what we can do is, we can store Aadhaar in increasing order of Aadhaar numbers, and if for corresponding SIM, if we need to search for Aadhaar, we can apply binary search. So all those who are not familiar with binary search is a searching algorithm which works in log of n. We'll talk about the algorithms in the upcoming webinars. So today is going to be introduction. Let us now assume it works in log of n. So how much time it's going to take? So it's going to take log of 10⁹. So it's going to be 30 operation. So for 10⁹, how much time we need? 30 seconds. So from 32 years, we reduce time to 30 seconds. That's what we do in competitive programming. We optimize solution. Finding solution is something different. In previous example, this takes 32 years, we find a solution, but that's not an optimized one. Optimized solution will be this in 30 seconds. This is what we mostly do. We solve a problem. Solving problem is not important, but solving a problem in optimized and given time constraint is what we mostly focus on. So let's start with what is competitive programming. So anyone want to give an insight? What is competitive programming? Any idea if someone has heard this word? We'll start. So it's a kind of a mind sport, we call it. It's simply a game or sport like any other game. So in normal game, what we do, we compete with other people. On the basis of them, that we will assign some rating. So we are going to level up. So we compete again in next level. And so competitive programming is very similar to any other game. So we participate in contest. On the basis of we are assigned some rating, we are compete with other people, we level up, we again participate with more people. And so this is simply a kind of like any other sport. So competitive programming is again a sport. So it is solving interesting problem through data structure, algorithm, maths, and logic. So you will be given some problem, you have to apply an efficient data structure or algorithm to solve that problem efficiently. So as we seen earlier, that SIM and Aadhaar card problem will be solved in two ways. One is 32 year, one is 30 second. And both the cases we apply data structure and algorithm. But in case of 30 second, we find an optimized solution. And this is what we do in competitive programming. So this is solving problem under given time and specification. So you will be given some problem. There will be some time limit for that problem. Your computer should be solved at under 1 second or 2 seconds. And there will be some specific, what is the input size or how much input you can take. On the basis of the given constraint, you are going to solve a problem optimally. That's what competitive programming is. So that's what programmer do. They solve interesting problem by devising algorithm, make other computer do that. So this is, we already seen what is programming. So programming is giving instruction to computers. What programmer do? They write code for giving instruction to the computers. So one major question, like people generally ask me, or like it's a very important and very basic question. Is competitive programming and algo and this are same or different? So what, okay, anyone want to say something? Are they same or?
Guys, one more thing. This is totally an interactive session. So if you're not comfortable in answering through audio, then you can write your answer in the chat box also. So you are free to answer the questions. You can write or you can say.
Okay, so I'll say. So competitive programming and algo and DS, they are basically some kind of same. So I'll say competitive programming is superset of algo and DS. So if you are doing competitive programming, obviously you will be dealing with algorithm and data structure, but you will be dealing with, if you are doing competitive programming, you will deal with maths, probability, so and combination of maths and algorithms. So you will be dealing with superset of algorithm and data structure. So if you are doing competitive programming, so yes, you will have an upper hand in algorithm and data structure, because that's superset of algo and data structure. So if so doing competitive programming helps you in many ways. So if you've done competitive programming, then solving an algorithm and data structure specific question will not that difficult for you. So okay, so next major question is why competitive programming? So okay, so first reason is it improve your logical thinking and problem solving skills. So you basically solved a problem in given constraint. So let's say there is a contest for 2 hours. So you come up with a solution that is optimized and you solved it under 2 hours. So that's how it improve your problem solving and thinking skills, because you think some solution under given specific time. So it's improve your thinking skill in a pressurized way, because you have like 2 hours. So in how to think in pressure or how to handle some situation in pressure, this is what you learn from competitive programming. Make you faster and more focused, because you have to solve some problem in very less time. So let's say there is a competition in 2 hours. So you have to solve a problem in less than 2 hours. So this make you faster and more focused, because you cannot do errors. If you are going to do error, you have to debug it. That's going to take time. So how to write good code, clean code in your first attempt. This is what you learn from competitive programming. And hands-on implementation of algorithm. Let's say you learn some algorithm, for example, binary search. And if I ask you that question at Aadhaar and SIM, and you know that, okay, you have to apply binary search. So you applied binary search on that problem and you solved that. So previously you know binary search, what is binary search, how it works. But here you implement that algorithm, you code that algorithm. So you will have better understanding how that algorithm work, how much time is going to take. So theoretical part and practical part. Here we'll deal with practical part, practical application of the algorithms. So knowing algorithm is one thing, implementing, coding that algorithm in applying that in some question is different. So here we'll implementation of algorithm. So art of writing fast and efficient code. So since you have very less time for solving a problem, so you will write fast and efficient code in your first approach. Maybe at beginning you will made some mistakes. It will take time you to debug the errors. Then again you will make some mistakes. But at like end of the time, what you are going to learn? You are going to learn how to write a good code in your first attempt. Because if you are going to do an error mistake again, the next competition you will improve. Next competition you will improve. After all the competition, after many competition, what you are going to write efficient code and clean code in your first attempt. It will be habitual for you for writing and code without any errors. So if you are participating in contests regularly. So one more reason for doing competitive programming is your lab assignments. So all those who are coding lab assignments, that's going to be a piece of cake, because lab assignments are much easier than what you will solve in online websites. So if you are doing regularly, then your lab assignments are going to be very easy for you. And one more reason, well, this is the most important reason why people prefer competitive programming is it's make you placement ready. So for placement, your first step is your online exam, OT. So OT is similar to what other competitive programs. So you will be solved 2 or 3 questions in 1.5 hours. So if you do competitive programming regularly, for any company, it's online test will be similar to any other competition. So let's say you regularly participate on contests. So for placement, it's going to be same as like you are participating in any other contest as you. It's your usual habit. So it will be not a problem. Plus, it will be help in your interview also, because interview will be basically algo and DS. Since you are doing competitive program, you will be asked a subset of what you have done. So that's going to be very benefit for your placements. And it's another way of publicly showing your skills. So if someone is good in competitive programming and like let's say someone participate in Kickstart or Hacker Cup, there are so many round companies organized. So if you participate in that, that's a good way to showing your skills to company. So let's say for Google conduct Kickstart round, so they'll conduct 8 rounds per year. And if you participate in them and you perform good, if you perform good in any Kickstart round, they will directly call you for interview. That's a good. Similarly for Facebook, like all the big companies, they organize contests. If you perform good in them, they will directly call you for interview. That's another benefit of doing competitive programming. Major algorithm, you find STL support. So STL is a standard template library. That code is already written. So you simply just write a function. And so you don't have to write binary search again and again. So you can simply write STL binary search and you will be done. So your code will be very less. If every time you don't have to write sorting, binary search, so you can use STL, and it's less boilerplate code. So boilerplate code is you don't have to write a very big initial code. Like if those who are familiar with Java, so for taking input in Java is very difficult. You have to use scan class and stuff, and you have to write a class. Inside class you have to write a main function. So initial code for Java is going to be. In C++, you simply include an header file into main and you start with your coding. So C++ is it's a less initial coding than Java. So let's talk about Java. So Java execution time is twice of C++. So it's slower than C++, and that's why more people prefer C++ than Java. Python is very slow for competitive programming. So if you know Python, and if you have done some programming with Python, so you should know that it's very slow. So for doing basic programming is okay. You won't face any problem. But if you will go for higher levels, you will face so many issues with Python. So I will say avoid Python as much as you can. In C++ and Java, like 85% people use in word C++. I'm talking about competitive programming. And remaining like 10 to 15% people use Java. So I will say prefer C++. If you are using Java and Python, that's not going to be a problem. But avoid Python as much as you can. So, okay, so the first step is learn a programming language. So let's say you have learned C++. Now your next step should be choosing a platform. There are so many platforms available for you practice. So let's say CodeChef, Code4Sys, Gigs4Geeks. A few of you must be aware of all these platforms. So there are so many platforms available. You can choose any platform. You start with the basic beginner level problems, and you improve, and you going. After that, you start taking part in contest, and you move further. So generally, most of the people prefer CodeChef and Code4Sys. So these are also a good website. HackerEarth, HackerRank is also good platform to practice. So you can prefer at the beginning. It doesn't matter much. You can choose any platform and start coding. So, okay, so choosing a platform, let's say you have choose CodeChef. So now you have learned a language C++, you have choose a platform. Your next step should be learning data structure and algorithm. Now, one major question, how much data structure and algorithm you should know for starting competitive programming? So I will say you don't need to know, there are no such prerequisite for starting competitive programming. Eventually with time you will learn new data structure and algorithm, but basically if you know like simple searching, sorting, and in language you know basic for loops, while loop, conditional statement works, then it's fine. Then you can start. Even after that you will practice. If you're stuck somewhere, if some algorithm is new for you, then you will learn from it and you will learn that algorithm. So there are no such prerequisite for starting. Everyone can start with no simple searching and like basic searching and sorting algorithm if you know, and then you can start. If you don't, then simply Google searching and different searching and sorting algorithm, learn one or two of them, and then you can start. So next step is practice, practice, and practice. So there is no shortcut in competitive programming. You have to practice a lot. The more you practice, the more you will able to, the faster you will able to debug the code. The more you will be able to think a logic faster. Because initially you will face a problem. Let's say debugging of the code. You have made some mistake somewhere. So for searching the error, it's going to take time for you. But the more and more practice you will you will start writing efficient code, clean code, and less error you will make. If you made some error, it won't take you more than 1 or 2 minutes to figuring out the error. Where is the error in the code? So that's the like doing practice. So again, if the more you practice, better you will have understanding of data structures, algorithm, which data structure you should apply here. So for practice, there is a website called A2OG. Aditya will post a link in the chat. So you can go to the ladders. So here you will have A, B, C problems. So these are the Codeforces problems. So if you are beginner, start with A problems. These are the easiest problem. So let's say you have solved some 20, 30 or 40 problems. So once you have solved some problems, simple problems, now if you'll start feeling comfortable, okay, I can easily do A problems now, then you increase your level and you go to B problems. Then again, you solve some problems, let's say 50 problems or 100 problems you solve. And once you start feeling comfortable in B problems, so you can move further to C problem. That's how you improve. You start with beginner problem, you solved many problems. When you start feeling comfortable in that level of problem, you increase your level. Again, you practice, again, you increase level, and that's how you progress. Now, if you talk about if you let's say stuck some question, so you go to the editorial, and editorial you find they have used some algorithm which you are not aware of. So that's how you learn. You go to the editorial if you are stuck somewhere, and you check the editorial. Let's say they have used some map, and you were not aware of the map earlier. So you can go to CP algorithm. This is a website that most of the competitive programmer refer. Aditya will post a link in the chat. So this is also here. Let's say here they have given all the topics. So let's say they have mentioned some binary exponentiation, and you are not aware of what is binary exponentiation. So you simply go to this topic. Here they have given some theory about binary exponentiation, how it works. Then they have given also code also, and at last they have given some problem on binary exponentiation. So you first go through the theory, then you solve all these problems, and once you start feeling comfortable in that algorithm, you can solve that question. So this is how you learn a new algorithm. Initially, you started with basic sorting searching algorithm. Then later you progress. If you solve some question, if in editorial, if they mention something you are not aware of, you simply Google it, find how it works, solve some problem on that topic, and yes, you know the new algorithm. So this is how you progress. The more you practice, the more algorithm and data structure you will become familiar of. Now you have done practice. So once if you have done a little bit of practice, you can start competing in contest. So for contest, so I'll talk about contest. So for contest, people generally start in only two websites, CodeChef and Codeforces. So let's talk about CodeChef contest. So CodeChef conduct 3 major contests per month. So one is long challenge, second one is cook-off, and third one is lunchtime. So long challenge is a 10 days contest, and it's very good for beginners. So that's where you will learn new algorithm, your thinking skill will improve. Because if you are a beginner, you will have a 10 days time, and that's sufficient. Problem in, let's say, 2 hours or 1 hour, but 10 days a large span of time, and you can easily solve. You'll able to think more clearly if you are a beginner. So I will suggest for 4 or 5 months, or let's say 6 months, you're starting with the long challenge. You participate in long challenge. After that, the contest is ended, you go to the editorial and you check where you will stuck, why you're not able to solve that question. So if it is something new algorithm which you are not aware of, learn that algorithm and again solve that question. So for beginner starting with the long challenge, if once you have enough experience, you can start with cook-off for lunchtime. So cook-off is a 3-hour contest. It's a ICPC style contest. So you can starting with participate. Once you have participated in long challenge for enough time, then you know how algorithm works. But you are lacking in solving a problem in 2 hours. You know how to solve a specific problem, but you are not able to code in 2 hours. That where cook-off will help you. Cook-off will help you for solving a like problem in under 3 hours. So under pressure, how you should perform, or like how you will perform. That's what we'll learn from cook-off. Lunchtime is a simpler contest from cook-off. So I'll suggest for beginners, you starting with long challenge, then start participating in cook-off. And once you have participated enough contest, you can start with Code Forces. So Code Forces is a very beautiful website. They conduct contests for like in 2 or 3 days. They conduct contests regularly. So you can start participating there. A large number of people participate on Code Forces. Okay. Am I audible? Okay. Okay. So when you participate in some contest, you will be assigned some rating. So let's talk about what is rating. So rating is some when you participate in CodeChef is expecting you to solve some problem. Let's say your rating is 1800. So let's say CodeChef is expecting you to solve 3 problems, at least 3 problems. So if you solve more than 3 problems, your rating will increase. Like slowly you will progress. So participating in our first practice contest. So we are organizing a contest on 23rd of September. So it's going to be a short contest. So if those who are not done, like those who are not participated earlier, so they can start with their first contest, and we will inform about the contest later. So next slide. So so let's say this is a program example. So how you'll be given a program in CodeChef, for example. So you will be given program name, statement, input format, and let's talk about major input format, output format, constraints. So first you should look at the constraint. When you go to a question, you should look at the constraints. What are the constraints given? And you already know that your computer is going to perform a task in 1 second, 10⁹ operation. So then you take like see input output format and think of some algorithm. Let's say you come up with some algorithm, then see how many operations is going to take. So let's say it's going to take 10⁷ operation. So it is going to, so here you can see time limit at the bottom. So time limit is 1 second. So you are like you can perform 10⁹ operation, but you are performing 10⁷ operations. That's a good thing. So your solution will be accepted and you can start coding. Let's say your solution is taking 10⁵ operations. So you know that, okay, you are lagging somewhere. So you have to use some better algorithm. So you think of some another algorithm, again see constraints, if it is going to pass in 1 second or not. So this is how you like how you approach a problem. So input output format is given. So like in this format, calculate the sum of digit of n. So CodeChef is expecting you to return an integer, like it's print an integer, which is going to be sum of this is going to your output format. Your output format should be matched with your output, because they are simply going to be string matching. So if your output is 15, so their output should be 15 for you to be accepted. Next slide. So outcomes of submission. So whenever you submit a solution, there will be different kind of like you may get compilation error or time limit. So let's talk about one by them. If you are getting compilation error, it means that your execution file was failed during compilation. you have made some error, maybe you forgot some semicolon or some. Time limit exceeded is your program exceeded the time limit. Means in the you for program, the assigned time limit was 1 second. In 1 second, you can perform 10 to the power 9 operation, but you are performing more than 10 to the power 9 operation. That's what you have failed, like time limit exceeded come. It means that you have to optimize your solution. You may get memory limit exceed. So for every program, you will be assigned some memory. So generally, you will be assigned as 256 MB of memory. So for array size, if you are taking, that's going to be limited. So you cannot take array size of 10 to the power 10 of integers. That's going to be memory limit. That's going to exceed your 256 MB. So if you are going this error, so means you are using too much space. You have to reduce your space. Runtime error is your program is compiling, but while running it failed. Maybe you are dividing with 0, or maybe there is some segmentation fault, maybe there is some stack overflow occur. There is some problem which occur during runtime, so you are going to get runtime. Wrong answer is your program is not giving the output which is expected by the code chef. So maybe your output format is correct, output format is wrong, or maybe your code what you written is not the correct logic for the question. So your program is giving some different output than what is CodeChef is expecting. And accepted, this is what everyone wants. So accepted is if your program passes all the test cases. So thank you everyone. Thank you. So 1 second. So we have talked about how to start with competitive programming and basics. So in further webinar, we will also go through the algorithms and the data structure part. But this was basically and simply an introduction how you should start. And if you have any doubt, so we can clear now.
If you have any doubts, you can put in the chat, or else you can ask by unmuting yourself also.
So we will conduct a contest very soon on 23rd, and after that we will start conducting regular webinars on different algorithm, different data structures. So that where your learning will begin. This was just a basic of introduction. So why you should start with competitive programming, what are benefits, how you should start, if someone is not aware.
Anup, I think we've got one question about ICPC. So you should take this, I think.
Okay, so ICPC is a contest conducted. So it's for for college. So for every initially what I will tell about the steps. So first step is apply. So like this year they have not opened the application till now. Later they will do. After that, if you are going to apply, you will face it's going to a team contest. So there will be a team of 4, but only 3 participants you can go in the ICPC at one time, like for competing. So one guys will be extra if it's, and it will be team of 3. So your first step is going to be an online contest. Once you clear the online contest, they have some limited seats from every region. So in India, we have regions like Kharagpur region or Kanpur, or Gwalior region. So we have 4 regions. Every region has some limited number of seats. So let's say Gwalior region has 60 seats. So they will take first 60 students in the competition. So after that, after then you will go to the regionals. You will again compete with different people, and for every regionals has fixed number of seats for going to be world finals. And like for India there are 10 seats for, and from India there will be 10 people going to world final. And in world final again you will compete with overall people from world. So any other doubt?
Okay, there is one question that apart from time complexity of the problem, what other problem can we face using Python? So just to mention that not all the companies allow Python for their online test and other things. So there are many companies which don't recommend you to use Python for competitive programming specifically because Python have so many inbuilt libraries. So they actually want to test you on the basis of algorithms and not just by using inbuilt libraries. So that is one of the thing that I want to add on, that you should not use Python specifically for competitive programming. For other things, Python is good for, but for competitive programming, you should use either Java or C++.
There is one more question. Can you please repeat the use of links that you have shared? So right now we have shared three links, I think. One is from A2OJ ladder, which is nothing but there is questions regarding ratings like difficulty level. So you can find your level, current level, and you can practice questions out there. So these are basically mostly code forces questions available there, categorized on the basis of rating as well as the problem category A, B, C, D, or E, and so you can practice out there. And the second link that is shared is cpalgorithm.com. You can find there are a lot of algorithms mentioned there, and you will find some questions recommended for that algorithms. So this is a very good platform to learn any new thing, any new algorithm, and later on implement it, so that you can be using these algorithms in your contests to improve your rating and skill. The third link is codesep.com ICPC. This is the thing, but the very detail about what is ICPC and how to take part in that and everything about that is mentioned out there. Guys, any more questions you want to ask? Feel free to ask.
I just want to add one more thing. If you are in second year and you have not started coding, and if you are looking for software job, then it's the best time for you to start coding and doing a competitive programming or doing data structures. So if you are applying for any software companies, they will be having online tests, which will be having competitive like CP questions or data structures questions. So you should start now, because if you are applying for interns and placements, then your intern will be starting next year, and you should have some good experience with competitive programming for that. So I hope you all will start doing that.
So we are still waiting for questions. Feel free to ask. If you have any doubt, any query, we are here to answer it.
Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can end the meeting now. I guess we are done with everything we wanted to cover.
Okay, so Sivan, I think we should wrap up now. So don't forget, we are organizing a contest on 23rd September. So please take part in that. You will get to learn a lot in that, I think.
Yeah, it's just an introductory contest to competitive programming.
Yeah.
So you will be getting hands-on how to actually write a code and how to start with competitive programming. So it won't be much difficult contest. It's just for your understanding point of view.
Yeah, so we don't expect you that you will be knowing very good algorithms and you are very good at programming. So there is nothing like that. The contest will be for all levels of competitive programmers. So please do take part in that. So Sivang, I think we should wrap up. On what platform will you host, Anup?
CodeChef. We will host on CodeChef.
Okay.
I think we are done, so we can end the meeting now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Thanks for showing your interest and do take part in the contest. Thank you.